there, students. It is time for another lesson. We are starting our Unit 7, and Unit 7 is all about equations. So to start off with, we are going to talk about writing equations. You can see here that I have this little anchor chart, this little poster here. We are going to be referring to this throughout our lessons as we get started. This right here doesn't really apply to writing equations. This just shows you the steps to do a one-step equation. So I just wanted you to be familiar with this because it's going to be on every single one of our lessons so you can refer to it. I am also have printable versions for students if they need a version, need this kind of as a hint or a cheat sheet, if you will, as you're doing your assignments this week. So here we go. Let's get into our bell work. All right, so here is our bell work, and we, on this first problem, are trying to make this true by adding parentheses. So we want this to end up being 49. So we're going to put parentheses in different places here to make it equal 49. So this is kind of a trial and error thing. So I'd like you to try this out and see what you can get, and then so hit pause and try it out for yourself. Okay, so here is where your parentheses are going to go. So I'm going to start here and go 21 divided by 3 is 7. 9 minus 3 is 6. Then bring down everything else. So this is 6 times 7 is 42 plus 7 equals 49. So yeah, that is the answer to that one. Let's see how you do on the second one. Okay, on this second one, that's where the parentheses go. So we're going to do that first. We get 2, and then we bring everything else down. And then we're going to do the exponents, and we get 9. Bring everything else down. So 2 times 9 is 18 plus 2 equals 20. So there you go. That's where the parentheses go in that one. All right, let's look at number 2, and number 2 is over here. So we're going to find 0.5% of 60. So again, going back to our last unit, we have a percent right there. So we're going to go line equals line over 100. We have the percent, so we're going to put it there. We have the of, and that goes down here, and the x goes here. So we're going to go 60 times 0.05. Well, that happens to be 30. And then we have 30 divided by 100. Okay, so I can cross that out. Well, 3 divided by 10, what is that? I get 0, or 3/10 is the answer. Okay, so there you go on number 2. Let's go on to the next one. Oh boy, I'm going to pause on this one, and you can work these out on your own. Let's see if you get the right answer. Okay, so for for number 3, you should have got 123 and 3/10, and on the next one, you should have got 1 and 6,427 10,000ths is how you say that number. So there is your bell work. Let's move on to your notes for this lesson. All right, so here are your notes. We're going to be talking about writing equations today. So a couple of things that we just want to fill out on this little handout. This is in your journal. It is on page 54. So if you'll turn to page 54 and fill this out with me. It says, a blank is a mathematical sentence that shows 2 expressions are blank. So this is an equation. Is a mathematical sentence that shows that 2 expressions are equal or equivalent using an equal sign. An equal sign shows that blank sides, both sides of an equation, have the same value. Some examples of equations are, so x plus 2 equals 4. So you could probably already know what x is there. So if we went like this, 2 plus 2 equals 4, those are both equations. And equations always have equal signs. That's kind of why they call them equations, because they have an equal sign. So some other ones that you might run into later on, you're going to see 2x equals 6. There's lots of different things that you can do for equations. There's innumerable, probably an infinite amount of equations you could write. Keywords to look for is a big one. Sum, quotient, product. All of those words mean that we're getting something. We're getting that whatever we have is equal to the answer. So all of those words mean equation. Okay, so how do you write some of these word sentences as an equation? The sum of a number g and 6 is 54. Well, that would be g plus 6 equals 54. A number k decreased by 10. So we have k minus 10 is 12. The quotient of h and 12. So we have h divided by 12. I know it's divided because of quotient is 4. So you can see the big word that we're running into is. Is in all of these. And it lets us know that it is equal. So 45 is the product of a number n and 15. So 45 is, so that comes last. The product of a number n and 15. So n and 15 would be 15 times n equals 45. All right, on to the next. You can write blank to help you solve, equations. To help you solve real-life problems, when writing an equation, it is important to identify the variable. Problem. Together, you and a friend have $75. Your friend has 45. So write an equation you can use to find out how much money you have. So together, you and your friend have, so that it equals $75. Well, our variable, we'll just call it x. You can call it whatever you want, but we're going to call this one x. So the equation, we know that it equals 75. But what do we know about you and your friend? Your friend has 45, so 45 plus whatever you have, we don't know what it is, that's why we use a variable, equals 75. So there is your equation. All right, let's take a look at your practice. Here is your practice, and this is kind of a puzzle that we are drawing a line to match each word sentence with an equation. So we're going to have to be kind of, and the way that I would do this is I would actually write them out and then find it and then draw a line. So number one, the sum of a number x and 5, so x plus 5 or 5 plus x, equals 14. So we're looking for one that has 14 and an x plus 5. Oh, there it is. So I can come right here and go, that goes to number 1. Okay, now we are going to go to the next one. A number x decreased by 6. So x minus 6 equals 5. So do we have an x minus 6 equals 5? Yes, we do. So I'm going to come over here and go, that goes down here. All right. Let's see. I'm going to do one more. 7 times a number x is 42. So 7 times the number x, so 7x, is 42. And I can see that I have that right there. So number 3 is going to go right there. Okay, let's see if you can do number 4 through 8 on your own. So I'm going to pause this, see if you can do a few of these, and then hit play when you're ready. Here we go. Okay, so you can see here, we're looking at my red lines. Also, if you need to look at the work, this is just, this is the answers to 1 through 10. So you can see right there that I have those all laid out, but you can see where the little red lines are. Pause and check and see if you got those correct. Okay, so I am going to quickly erase these so we can actually do what we need to do here. We're going to look at number 11 really quick. So let's read the instructions. Number 11 says, Write an addition equation that can be used to find the value of x. So, remember, the variable should not be isolated. It should be with the other numbers on this, is what it's saying. So I'm going to do these problems right here so we can see at the bottom. So let's go. Okay, so I know perimeter means that we have to add up all the sides. So we have this. Now, it doesn't want us to answer the question. It just wants us to write an equation. So if I have x plus 13 plus 5, it will equal 30. So there's my equation for number 11. I'm going to do number 12, and then I want to see if you can do number 13 on your own. So here's number 12. So this has 4 sides, and I know 3 of the 4. So I'm going to go 10 plus 15 plus 10 plus x equals 43. And we probably should put meters and inches on those because it matters. Okay, I'd like you to do number 13 and see if you get the same equation that I get. Okay, number 13, did you get 5 plus 5 plus x equals 16 feet? If you did, you're doing it right. Okay, let's take a look at this word problem. I know that sometimes these word problems, we kind of get to where we're like, oh, I'm not feeling good about it. But really, word problems are just, if you can break it into parts, it makes it a little simpler. So it says, a crew is picking up chairs in the gymnasium after an event. After clearing 217 chairs from the gym floor, there's 36 chairs that still remain. Write an equation you can use to find the number of chairs placed on the floor for the event. So the thing that we're looking for is the total. So if we have 200, so here we go. We're going to use our numbers that we have. If we have 217, so we would start out with the 217. That's how many they cleared. And then we would add. I know it seems like we would subtract maybe on this, but we're trying to find a total. So 217 plus 36 equals x. I guess you could also look at it like this. That's an equation. You could also go, no, I think that suffices for today. On this. There is another way that we can look at that, but I think that works for today. All right, let's take a look at your assignment. Okay, so your assignment, you're just writing out the equations. We did that on the practice, so we're looking right here. We're just writing these out. Okay, write the equations here. And then these are very similar to what we did a minute ago, that now it's area. Area is different than perimeter. Remember, it's times. So you got to look at how that works with multiplication, because area, we use multiplication, not addition. And then it has a couple of problems for you to do that have words to see if you can decipher and figure out what the equations are. All right, guys, good luck on this. And if you need help, ask your teacher. Don't forget to enter your answers into GoFormative.